All right. This is really to you, Tamika Cole. Tamika, Tamika, Butler, Butler, Cole, Cole, and Gary, Gary, Aura, Raymond, Chandler, Chandler. He's also on Social Security. So Gary, don't be afraid no matter what happens. Remember, you're on Social Security. And I'm responsible for that bill. And you are on Social Security. Do not let anybody try to take a Social Security check from you. The reason I'm saying this is very important. And also the other caucus will be Benjamin, Benjamin, Butler, Mark Fennell, Markfennell, Keith Fennell, Keita, Fennell, Fennell. Okay, this is important because if something happened to me, I need you to fight for me, Tamika, and Gary, and the help of Ben and my brothers. But if you don't have their help, whoever was willing to help, and Andrew Cole, because all of you, if something happened to me, should be the one who profit from the mistakes that they did to me at the hospital again. This is what I went through when I thought they would give me good care. When the ambulance came, I made a record of not wanting to go back to Kennesaw Hospital in Kennesaw, Georgia, because they gave me hydrology, which called me every moment of hell from the 3 weeks from that week I went. And 3 weeks later, I went back. And when I went back, I had to call the emergency. My blood pressure was 222/146. And I was very concerned because I knew it was too high. And since the day before I went to Alliance Fighting Pain, it was 212/120. And even though I went home and I tried to relax and tried it, I could not get past the suffering, which are on file. Look at what hydrology calls. I had all of it. All the symptoms, just to make it clear. Secondly, when I went back, the EMS paramedic said, well, once you tell them that they gave you hydrology, they won't. I said, well, you tell them. They said, okay. I said, but if I can't tell them, you make sure you tell them that I can't take hydrology anymore. So when I get there and I try to tell them that I had a bad reaction to the hydrology, they seem to be listening to me. At least the lady doctor was. Okay. The male doctor, he wanted to tell me what I need to be taking and all, and I was telling him I'd taken, some of the things that he named, I've already taken. I told him he can get them on a record from my doctor, in Marietta, Georgia, also part of Wellstar, Dr. Muhammad Khan, where he gave me medicine for statin back in 2005 or between 2005 and 2010. And that I couldn't take it. And I refused because I was in so much pain. And he also gave me, lisinopril, and I couldn't take that. For whatever, I couldn't take it, but he seemed to be offended by it. So he was saying different drugs, and I was already terrified because I'm already going through so much. And so they explained that the blood pressure clonidine that I'm on, that T3 immediate med actually gave me, and it helped when they gave it to me over a year ago at, immediate med P3. And that was October 2021 when I first went in. And, my blood pressure was so high, but I didn't know it was high, until I was told by Georgia Bone and Joint in Carterville, Georgia. This was in October. They told me in October 2021. And so Then I go upstairs to Alliance Fighting Pain the same day, and they tell me that it's still too high. It was climbing. So then I went to, that's how I ended up at Peachtree Immediate Med in Kennesaw, Georgia. And they gave me amlodipine, even though I don't like it. I didn't even know that's what they gave me, but I figured it out because of the head pain. Then I found out that's what they gave me because they knew that if I tolerate a long time, even though it makes me sick, at least they knew it wouldn't kill me because the blood pressure high. And then they gave me clonidine for a month. And I simply just told the doctor that I wanted to stay on it because it seemed to be working. And it did seem to be working. But after a while, it seemed like it was a roller coaster ride. So again, the doctor started informing me again, and then that's how I started back going to, then I went to, immediate med because, I was so thirsty all the time and felt very dried out, and my lips were crusted, almost every day. I even started peeling them. I couldn't stand how they felt, but they told me it was the clonidine. Even though they didn't realize they gave me the clonidine. So I didn't say anything. I said, okay. And I was going to be going to a dermatologist. I called my doctor. This was, maybe 2 or 3 months ago. And so, my doctor did give me a dermatologist. And wait a minute. She didn't give me a dermatologist right then. When I finally got in touch with her, she did call them, but they didn't call me. They took their time, and I understand that because they had a lot of clients, so they finally got to me. I never heard from the cardiologist that was recommended, though. I get really sick, and that's how, now, almost 4 weeks ago, I ended up at Kennesaw Hospital in Kennesaw, Georgia. My husband, I told him to take me there. After, I went to a Piedmont, urgent care, and they said, no, you need to go to the hospital. So I didn't actually go to the hospital because my insurance company insisted that I don't go to the hospital, that I needed to go to urgent care. Well, I went, and they sent me to, Kennesaw Hospital. They wouldn't even tell me and my husband how high my blood pressure was. They talked to him outside, and then he said, you have to go to the hospital. And so I ended up in the hospital almost 4 weeks ago. And that night, when they finally got my blood pressure down, they did have a hard time. They said the clonidine wasn't working. So in fact, the clonidine had finally just, I guess, going upside down. So then they gave me hydrolysine. First they gave me clonidine. And I don't know how much they gave me a clonidine, but they couldn't get it down. Then they put into my IV hydrolysine, and I've been sick ever since. My head, dizziness, my head throbbing, my heart beat so fast. And, this is from Kennesaw hospital. So when I went back, like EMS, they took me there, saying that they'll be the ones that want to correct their mistake. Well, it seemed like it, and I was having faith in them, and they said that they did all my blood work. They hooked me up to potassium, said that my potassium was critically low. Then, about maybe 3 or 4 hours into it, I'm not sure how long, they told the nurse, that I had enough potassium out of my IV, and she gave me 4 potassium pills. She gave me 2 at one time, and then 2, maybe a couple hours later, 2 more. And she gave me something else, but I'm not sure what that was, but I knew the potassium was the most important. And then they gave me 2 beta-lols. All right, so they gave me the 2 beta-lols, and my blood pressure was still fighting. It was still fighting the beta-lols. And then, they said, it looks like you're going to be going to a room. I said, I am? They said, yes. So they finally said that this is blood pressure medicine that I need to try. I said, okay, I'll try it. I said, since the clonidine is not working, I try it. That's what I told the doctors. All right. The male doctor seemed to be offended. He seemed to be offended. He didn't have a good bedside manner. Okay, and the lady doctor she was understanding. I mean, I don't actually know. She may have had a better face, game face than he did. Anyway, I don't know, but she seemed sincere. That's all I can say. She really seemed sincere. And then they ran me through so many tests. Then they ran me through an MRI on my head because of the pain in my head. They said they wanted to see if I had a stroke. I said, well, I was thinking if I can raise my hand, if my speech is not slurring, then maybe I haven't had that at any time happen. So possibly it weren't a stroke. But the dizziness could not be explained or the headache except that it still was tied in to hydrolysine. Okay, so then after that, they give me a phenapine and carvedilol, and it's the medicine I sent you, Tamika. So they gave me 2 of them, and those are strong medication. All right, and even when I took the medication, the next morning I woke up, my blood pressure was almost as high as it was before. But the moment I take the medication and I wait an hour, then it worked. But each time, the second day, after I got to the hospital Sunday, I got to the hospital Friday evening, late Friday evening. But this is what really upset me. After they did a echocardiogram and they did the MRI, and they were saying they were still trying to figure out what was wrong with my blood. Then they said it was too much calcium. So they're trying to find out if I take calcium. Well, I take calcium, magnesium, and zinc, every day. So I didn't know. I don't know how much calcium is in there, but I didn't think it was that high. However, I don't know what is too much calcium. Okay, so I go from the potassium. He comes in and tells me, "Oh no, forget about that. I think we was on the wrong path on that. But how about the calcium? Are you taking a lot of calcium? Because I know you take a lot of supplements." And I said, "Well, I take magnesium, calcium, and zinc." And he said, "Stop taking it." And then I said, "Well," I said, "Okay." And I said, "Well, I'm starting to feel better. Can I go home?" And they said, "Well, we're still looking at some things and we'll let you know." All right. So they didn't come back, but it wasn't late enough yet. So I had lunch. And so I was waiting to hear from them. But what happened is that night I did get at least 6 hours. But before that, in the hospital, I did not have sleep for 48 hours because I know they can't control another patient. The other patient was younger, and had some issues. They were on Xanax. I know they can't help who they put you in the room with. But anyway, so I went on for a crazy ride and no sleep. And I asked for something to sleep and they forgot to give me something for sleep. I had my own medication that I get from my doctor, Life Fighting Pain. I gave them that list. And on that day, Friday, they didn't give me any medication except they gave me the carvedilol, and then they gave me 1 gabapentin and 2 ibuprofen, which I told them, I said, "Well, this might run my blood pressure up." And they said, well, they weren't worried about it because, see, they would see me on the carvedilol. But when they gave me the carvedilol that morning at 6-something, that was the good night nurse. All the nurses was nice except for the one named Chantel. All right, that is the story I'm going to tell you today. That was Friday. Okay, I asked her each time, "Where's my pain medicine?" I said, "My head is hurting," and they're on my list. I wasn't asking for extra medicine. Only the one that Alliance Fighting Pain had me on file. I didn't ask for any more than that. I didn't ask for any less. I just wanted my doses in a timely fashion. They kept telling me the pharmacy hadn't sent it down yet. I said to me, that don't make sense. Okay, but I said, okay, I'll bear with it. Then on my second time to have my medication, they gave me that morning just 1 GABA, 300 milligrams, and like I said, the 2 ibuprofen, regular ibuprofen, so about 400 milligrams. And really it's not good for my stomach because I have a gastrointestinal history of GERD, acid reflux, and a hiatal hernia repair done in 2008 at Emory. But some reason that's what they gave me. All right, but they never gave me any of my other medication, even though they were on the list. And kept telling me this Chantel, the only nurse that did this, and I know that she had to got those orders from somebody. But she kept saying that she checked with the pharmacy and she's sorry they didn't get them down. And so by the time from, it was about 7 or 8 when they finally gave me that, 7 or 8 a.m. is when they gave me the GABA and the 2, ibuprofen. That was about 7 or 8 a.m. And all through the day, my head got worse and worse and worse. And I said, you do know that I have problems with my back and that I just had RAL. But unfortunately, so I don't know what happened to it because of the hydrolysine. But the thing is, the burning was like through the nerve. And I'm thinking like, what is going on here? So I asked again after the 8 something. I asked at 9, at 10 something, and nothing. Same excuse. 12 something, nothing. Same excuse. So by 4:30, 3:30 or 4:30, my head was hurting so bad. And I don't know if you can find the people that was in the room with me, but they were from Nepal. So the lady from Nepal and her son heard me crying. I was in so much pain. I can't even believe that they let me just sit there in pain when I already had medicine on file. Not medicine I was asking for. Not anything more. Not anything less. Just the medicine that was on file. And they let me suffer. And I know for a fact you can't run a hospital when people are critical or in pain. If your pharmacy has to sit it down. So I knew something was not right. When I first realized there was something wrong, it didn't quite click off to me. But I heard my same doctor who was telling me to stop my calcium, and he told me forget about the potassium. But I'm like, you already gave me a lot of potassium though. So I didn't understand. First of all, I wanted to know if it was going to hurt me because I didn't understand. Okay, so forget about it. Well, what does that mean? So then I hear him, and this is the funny part. It took me today to realize why I was wondering. It's because that day, Friday afternoon when the doctor came in to talk and he said, forget about it. It's on the wrong path. And they're still trying to figure out other things in my blood. All right. He told the lady from Nepal, India, she had Fennell, apparently. They live somewhere on Northwest, but I'm not sure. I think they live in Smyrna, Georgia. I'm just trying to hear you from what I could hear. But I can't tell you anything more than that. I know that the woman could not understand English, and her son had to interpret for her because she was from Nepal, India. And he told her she was diabetic. She had fell that night. She was diabetic, and her potassium level was 5.5. And he told her if you had went any more, you could have ended up in a coma. Her potassium level. And so what I said to myself, wait a minute, it came to me Sunday. If her potassium level, if it's too high, then, and you can go into a coma. So then what did they didn't do anything to get the potassium out of me when they said that they was on the wrong track. And so I read up. I'm disturbed. I find out that my hemoglobin is 5.4. A lot to happen, but I just wanted you to note that a high potassium level is also deadly. Okay. So he told me to forget about that. Well, now I can't. Well, let me finish Friday because I'm kind of, leapfrog for a minute. But the people in the room were from Nepal, India. And you have to take them that Friday that I got out this
high 96.
196 over what?
No. Over 117 at pulse is 96.
Okay, 196 and 117.
So when you get wound up.
Okay, I'm gonna calm
I've been
down.
hearing you up here 45 minutes, man.
Okay.
You ain't give her a breath.
Okay. Let me finish. Okay. Friday evening, after I begged and all my head was hurt and they tried to help me. The people from Nepal, India tried to help me. But that morning, I helped his mother. The same woman, Chantel, was over the woman talking about, you need to keep the heart monitor on. And I said, she don't understand English. I said, you need to call her son so he can interpret. She said, I'll take care of you in a minute. I'm like, huh? And so she realized what she said, oh, I'll be there in a minute. Because she realized she said it wrong. But, so she ended up, after she talked to me like that, she ended up, because me and the lady were older. So I'm in my 60s, and the lady seemed to be somewhere there. But she's from Nepal, India, couldn't understand English. She was frightened of the woman. And so she eventually had to call her son to figure out, to tell her son what she needed to tell his mother what they needed to do and to put the heart monitor back on. And then they understand the son started coming later anyway to finish the interpretation. Cause he stepped out for a little bit, but he said he was our primary caregiver. So, she went through a couple of incidents with them and I just told them that she can't speak English. So if you need to make her understand, just have her call her son or call the son, message it on file so that he can interpret. That's all I meant. But I think from that point on, and that happened a little bit after that morning. And that's when it happened. And I think that a wall went on, or either she was just following orders. Don't give me my medicine. Okay, so first and then hearing what the doctor told that woman about potassium. And then them not giving me my medicine. Then when I complained, I asked for the charge nurse. The charge nurse came in and I told them, if you had a critical patient in here, if somebody came in here with a gunshot wound, are you going to tell me that the pharmacy they'll send the medicine down when they can, or you pick it up when they call? Are you telling me that I didn't have my medicine on file when my doctor, the female doctor, told me that she ordered it right then? She said, well, you heard it. She did order it right then. I said, well, where is it? I told you we went down there, but they hadn't sent it up yet. And I said, so that's what happened. The charge nurse came in. She sent them in, but the charge nurse started apologizing and all. And then she said, did you know you were discharged? And I said, discharged? She said, yeah, they said you would be able to be discharged at 3:00. I said, what? I said, nobody even told me. So not only did I not get my medicine all through the day, they didn't even tell me I was being discharged. But the medicine that was not there within 5 minutes appeared in my room. But they almost overdosed me. They tried to make me take all the pills. I said, hey, wait a minute. I can't take all of that. And then my head was hurting, and I said, because my head had been hurting so bad, and she talking about, well, Fiora said it better than opiate. And I said, the opiates are from my back. I said, have you ever had that kind of back pain? I just mean that Fiora said it better for headache. I said, well, I don't know what it is, but can you write it down? She said, well, no, we'll give it to you. Well, first of all, I'm not a nurse, but I have a lot of medical people in the family. A lot of them. And you're not supposed to give Fiora to a patient without permission. That means it was ordered by somebody. She just ordered it right then and gave it to me and made me take it. I'm not sure, but I think that Fiora said not good for people that have a gastrointestinal problem, because right up on that I had a major heartburn, but I did get relief from my headache. But I would not be willing to endure that again without more long-term study. But just to say, the charge nurse was nice. She was trying to make and rectify what happened. She brought all of them before me. She even made them give me the medicine they took out the room. And they tried to give me all the medicine that was missed that day. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute here now. But at least I knew then the medicine was there. I didn't get it, but the medicine weren't there when I asked for it and needed it. And it was my doctor's medicine prescription. They were the same amount. I'm I am 63, almost 64 years old. I have never overdosed. Well, not on narcotic drugs from the doctors. And I've never taken illegal drugs. So there is that. And you can check my history. I'm just fed up because now I believe maybe it was an accident would give me that potassium. But the problem is I have no witnesses. Somebody got to get my paperwork from that hospital. And by the way, the symptom of high overdose of potassium is not good. I'm going to try to see if I can get blood work worked up so they can find out about this extra potassium and stuff in me as soon as possible. I'm going to try to get my record from them without them knowing. And my hemoglobin is 5.4, Mika. I'm in a dangerous level zone. So you need to know that. Your daddy will explain it to you. I must get help as soon as possible. Maybe blood transfusion. Maybe they can just get enough iron in me quickly as possible. And that it won't take 6 to 12 weeks. So you need to know that. Dad is also on there, and they didn't tell me about it. But when they pushed me out of the hospital, they forgot to give me written instruction. That's just to tell you how nervous they got. I believe they would keep him in there longer so they can charge for the whole day. I also believe that I may actually have been a victim of direct potassium hit so that I could go in a coma because they knew about the hydrolyzine. These hospital things are businesses. They're not working for us. They are working for the people. They are for their machine to keep them going. So they don't need to have a lawsuit. And I believe that I was directly attacked because of the hydrolyzine. When all I thought is that in my mind, when my blood pressure is so high in my head, going through a frenzy of pain, I was assuming that maybe the EMS guy was right. But I know better now. I'll never go back to that hospital. I want y'all to sue them. You have my permission. Deborah Butler Chandler. Last 44850. You know all of them, Tamika, you and Gary. And you'll give it to everybody. Try to work together. Fight through this. These people are wicked at the hospital. I love you all, no matter what happened to me. I'm not afraid of dying, but I don't like the politics that would play with my life. And I don't want them to get away with it, please. Please don't let them get away with this if something happened to me. I love you all. Tamika, Gary, Mark, Keith, Ben, son. I love you guys. I love you, my grandchildren, no matter what happened. And I love you, Jacqueline and Wanda and Christy. My family, of course. And then shout out to my friend who I really always cared about. And I love you, Penny. Well, you're a beautiful woman. Take care of your mother. She's so precious. Jacqueline thinks so too. And she's a beautiful lady. Godspeed. I love more of you, but can't just name all of you. I can't. But I love you, Mark Patrick. You know that. And Keith the second and the grandchildren. And I love you, Dahlia Ennis. DAHILIA Ennis, INNIS. Samuel Broad should be able to get you in touch. And if some reason I got her name wrong again, I don't think so. Because that picture looks like a picture of her. Gradually from young to older, and her hair is still beautiful, and it still looks like that, and it's still long. I love you guys. I love you all. I love you, my precious Tamika. And you better train your children to know who my Savior and your Savior is. Don't let them be unprotected in this world. Let them have something to fall back on. Because in the end, your faith is the only thing you have. And if you have your faith in nothing, then you have nothing. And nothing from nothing leaves nothing. So I love you. Please don't give up on my Father in heaven for the things that men do upon the earth. This is how they do business and sacrifices. May God have mercy on their soul because he has mercy on mine. Godspeed.